I just want to invest in people that really want to be the best that they can be. Hello, loan officers. It's Todd Scrima in Jim Reed and Robyn LaVassaur, and we're talking to you today about how to get 20-30% more sales and how to do that with business you already have. So Jimmy's got some stats. He's going to... Actually, Jim, you want to do the stats first? Just so people pay attention? It was pretty impressive.
I can maybe do the stats and tell why I'm all fired up and then talk about how Robyn's awesome at this and she can teach. How about that? So you guys know, Todd started Summit Funding 30 years ago or so, and I worked there like 6 months later or so. And we were really small, 3 or 4 person company. And in addition to Todd's really good at cold calling and not scared, the other way that we built the business early on was through Tuesday updates. And I don't know if you remember this, Todd, but you had come back from a seminar by Joe Stubb and you bought 800 numbers, and we used to record the update and assign 800 numbers and make them call to listen to the update so we didn't have to talk to them.
Yep.
How stupid was that?
That was dumb.
Yeah. And so over time evolved like, whoa, this is a sales opportunity. Like, be really good at updating the agents. Let the listing agent know you're interested in dating them and earning their business. Impress them, and then ask them for their business. I'm simplifying. But that's how I built my entire career once I started being a originator. That was for sure my number one thing. My second was milk routing, which is going and seeing realtor offices and builders all the time, and never giving up. So I'm coaching, I'm running next level coaching, and it's now a main part of Summit Funding, and we're starting to accept outside people. So I got some stats together. So all of our best producers, I think top 12 or 15, I made them send me their 40 realtor list. We teach have a 40 realtor list that you're working with or pursuing. And there's more to it than that with Joel, so I don't want to make it seem that simple because the market has changed. But this is for sure a key component. So I had to just print out their list and write down in the margin, how did you meet the realtor? How'd you meet them? Because that's what matters. And then whether they clicked or not, obviously they clicked. So based on the way we did it, you could group all of them into 4 categories. One is leveraged events, right? So that's a happy hour or a lunch and learn or a video and learn. We do that at Next Level, and we do that at Summit, and it works. The next is cold call. There's 3 categories for that, in my opinion. Cold call is like open houses is cold call. What you teach in Jolt of how to call realtors you've never met and have success, which is really successful, is cold call, is traditional cold call. And really milk routing is cold calling, right? You just walk into an office where you don't know nobody, and because you never give up, they slowly start to like you and trust you, and eventually you get business. That's all cold calling. So that's what's under that category. Tuesday updates is where I just talked about. Hey, the listing agent, you basically impress the living crap out of them and ask them for their business. And then buddy introductions is realtors or people you know that use a realtor. You ask them, hey, did you like them? Introduce me. If they're a realtor friend, hey, who do you know I should be working with? And they introduce you, and it just increases your chances of success, right? So those are the 4 categories. And then I'll be done. So leveraged events, 9%.
9.
So leveraged events are really a maintenance tool. That's what they really are good at. And you can attract some new realtors. But it's a great way to stay in front of people who already know you. It's a really good maintenance tool to maintain a relationship, and you can get some new ones. But you got to do them. Cold calling, you got to do them. 22%. Now, I'll give you some credit. I think that's because of your focus during this downturn on that topic, because that was way higher than I thought it was going to be. Buddy introductions. This one was right where I thought it would be, 48%. Well, if you've been doing the math, there's not a lot of percentages left. So Tuesday updates, which is how you and I built this company, was less than cold calling, 20%. And it is the easiest of all 3 or 4, in my opinion. You just do your job, keep your promises, and then ask them for business at the end. They've already experienced you. Did your loan officer update you every Tuesday? Did your loan officer do a pre-closing call? Does your loan, no. Well, I do. Let's work together. It's not that hard. So what it made me realize is people aren't doing it. And we did really good, but Robyn took it to a next level and became really nationwide known for it. So I thought I would just maybe ask her, how do you do it? How do we do this? Todd. whatever you want to say. But
yeah, Robyn, you built.
like,
I forgot the exact stats, but when you were doing personal production, your biggest year was over 600 units, and you told me the stat once how many came from Tuesday update calls. But once you start with that stat, because I know you remember it, and then do a role play for us on what it looks and sounds like.
Well, I remember when I implemented Tuesday updates, and I probably had 6 kind of key realtors at the time. None were very big fish. And in a 6-month period, I added 18 realtors to referring me.
Say it again.
That was 18 realtors in 6 months, all of which were considered A realtors. So referring me essentially religiously. And the biggest piece of that
A realtors are 10 closed loans a year with that referral partner. That's
correct.
What she's talking about. So she added not just realtors, top quality realtors. And it makes sense if we really give it credit. It should be, updates should compound your business, right? Selling through the pipeline should allow just like compound interest, right? You should be able to double up and double down if you're doing it right. And it's interesting. I think sometimes we get so focused on hunting that we forget to go back and just sell through your pipeline. And the truth is that's leveraged time, right? Some people are like, I got to go over here and work on loans, and then I got to go out there and sell. Miriam, making them up, like wipe up those Tuesday updates all day long, because when you do that, you automatically have a guaranteed audience because you're holding everybody's paycheck, right? So that's a huge one. Contrary to popular belief, Tuesday updates have been all the updates in general, communication. How often have we heard that one of the biggest complaints in lending is lack of communication? And then everybody thinks, oh, everybody's doing it, so I won't do it. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. If you talk to agents, they're not doing it anyway, but you're right.
Amen. And you talk to people and you say, how often do you get Tuesday updates? Every single week without fail.
Never.
Agents will say never.
What are you talking about?
It's mind-boggling to me. And so how do you do it? Well, here's the thing. I think where the myth comes in and the discomfort and the fact that you know that you're not doing them well is you sit down and role play with somebody and you say, not only am I going to update you, which is a bare minimum. It's like giving my husband a gold star for coming home at night. It doesn't happen. There's no gold star for that, right? Like that's a bare minimum to what, like just a basic in the marriage. So when you call someone and say, here's an update on the file, I think that sometimes we think like, okay, like think I'm fabulous now. You've got to take your updates to another level, and they've got to be well beyond an update. They really are as a communication point. And so, what Jim's talking about is I went on stage and I talked about really doing an update that, while it had a little tiny bit to do with introducing myself as the lender and in charge of 123 Main Street, what it really was interested in the listing agent. And everything that, the path that I took was I'd always pull a copy of the property up online. So while I was making the calls, I was already in the MLS or on Zillow, whatever it is, looking at the actual house. I could see it. That gave me context to just talk about things. Like, I was looking at this house. I love that kitchen, right? Like, is that one of your big selling points? Whatever it is. And then I would immediately go into how they got the listing. How they got the listing.
Hold on a minute, dude. Like, no one even knows what you just said and how valuable it is.
Yeah.
Like, they think the update is what matters. It's not. It's the chart. They don't know you yet. All they care is it closes, and they don't know you yet. So you pull up the listing, you pull up information about the realtor before you call them, and then you weave that in, and they think that you are interested in them.
Correct.
And I cannot get people to do that for nothing, Robyn. It is the magic.
It's about 30 seconds to maybe 2 minutes of research and homework so that you yourself can take a deep breath and feel more confident in the phone call. And I think that people think that that's not what's going to happen. The truth is, when you're staring at a house, you're much more apt to talk about the yard and the kitchen and feel more comfortable as you're scrolling through the pictures, right? How long's this thing been on the market? What are your seller's plans in the future? How did you get the listing? One of my most favorite questions ever to be asked. How did you get the listing? Why? Because the moment they tell you, you can ask 3 more questions about that topic alone and start digging. Oh, I got it from a past client. What percentage of your business is coming from a past client? Interesting. How do you keep in touch with your past clients? Is it the typical CRM drip? Oh, now we're talking about all these other things. And pretty soon they're thinking, I haven't had a lender ask me all these questions and been able to rattle off what I'm proud of ever.
Yep.
Do you know how easy it is to say after that, I'd love to learn more. Could we have a cup of coffee? Could I swing by your office?
This is being recorded, right?
Yes, it's being recorded. Good. Yeah, it's an instant close. And I think that we get so lost in like, I'm the lender. Here's your update on 123 Main Street. We're going to close on time and communicate every Tuesday. Are you impressed yet? What do you think of me? How about me? What about me? Can I talk about me? And
but so I got to jump in. So like you just taught me something I didn't realize. I knew it, but didn't realize it. Like the reason people are doing it is because the way they're hearing us teach it is to worry only about themselves. And if they stop worrying about themselves and their money, and they worry about the listing agent and show them that they care and are interested and make sure that listing agent gets closed and paid, the money will come.
And money will come.
And that is the miss that I was missing until it just came to me like, I'm not teaching them to care about the listing agent and the property and the seller. I'm teaching them to care about themselves, and that crap has never worked.
Yeah,
that was good.
Thank you actually for pointing that out, because I'd never really differentiated it, and I think that was my magic, and all of it was really focused on them. What a great way to find out about their business. They have a listing. That's their business. Where'd it come from? How'd they get it? How many other listings do they carry? What's their, there's 250 million good questions that come from looking at one house with a sign in the yard if you're focused on that. And what we can do with it and build is pretty magical. I'm going to give credit in the closing of just a Tuesday update, because I never said this, but wow, what a wow. If you're not comfortable asking, I started to just, Todd always says 2-step close, and I started skipping and like just closing as hard as I could, not in a too aggressive way, but just knowing that, hey, we really started rapport, so I'm going to ask for the time right now instead of say, let me wait till the end. And the reason I don't love to wait till the end of the transaction, if anything goes wrong, you might have missed your window to get deeper. And depth allows for grace. Hear me, depth allows for grace. 100%. So if you've had coffee up front, you've spent time with them on the phone, you've been interested, and you need 1-day extension on a closing because it happens sometimes.
No big deal.
No big deal. But if you've never met that listing agent, they think you are the devil himself when you call for that 1 day. And you want the difference. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Based on the way the robotic way that people hear what we say is, hey, I'm Jim. I'm your loan officer on 123 Maple Street. I promise to Tuesday update you and close on time. And I will keep in touch. And then if I do everything I said, will you meet with me? Goodbye. And then you close 1 day late and they say, see, he's a liar just like every other loan officer.
Correct. And
that's what they're not getting that. Right? They're not hearing. Yes.
So don't ever make a promise that you're not sure you control the outcome of, right? Like make sure that whatever promise it is, it might be, I'm going to update you every Tuesday and we're going to have a great transaction. You didn't hear me say, I guarantee you we're going to close that thing on the exact day, right? There's a difference in how you deliver information to them.
Right.
I'll give this little credit to Lauren. If you're not comfortable saying, can we get coffee? Can we get lunch right away? Lauren said, Lauren LaVassaur is my daughter-in-law, runs my personal business now. And she says, when I talk to a listing agent, I say every time, I look forward to the opportunity to audition for you.
Yeah.
And I think there's so much honor, so much humility, also a little almost silliness that you can play on that just kind of says, here's a unique client that's going to stick with me, that you can bring up time and time again, and she will be known as the one who gave them enough honor, but also enough confidence from herself to say, I'm auditioning and I'm confident I'm going to get that role. And I think that's I think it's a classic way to ultimately sell.
Well, something that stood out to me while you were talking is it would be better to say, listen, I can't promise to close on time. And the reason is I'm not in charge of everything in this transaction, but I can promise you these borrowers qualify and the loan will be ready. You would get way further with that.
Yes, because it's different.
And it's real.
Yes.
You're not trying to be Superman. You're trying to be a man or a woman.
Yeah, authenticity requires no preparation.
Yeah,
so the way we stutter
is good.
When we are being inauthentic, right? We stutter when there's not authenticity there. No prep when you're doing what you're supposed to be
Can you
doing.
imagine trying to implement all this stuff without being part of a coaching program or part of a group that's like-minded? I don't know how people do it.
Yeah, because it needs constant work. It's so much work, all this stuff. And part of what, the mindset that is weaved into all this, and I work on this in myself, and I work on it in personal life. I work on it in business. Is like, how do we be that super giving person that really does care about that listing agent, or about that borrower that's buying their first house, or about that realtor who hasn't closed a deal this year, and can you show some compassion and try and give some help? And I think everyone, it seems like in our industry, we've been so scared that we are not interested in other people.
Dude, that is exactly right. We're too worried about ourselves.
Yeah.
For anybody to feel like they want to get to know us.
Yeah.
When really now
my answer is faith, man. Like, if I find myself worrying too much, it's because I think I'm in control of everything. And I have been taught time and time again that I am not.
Yeah, we are not.
But it's lack of faith, right? Like, this lack of gratitude and faith is when I am worrying about myself and everybody can smell it on me.
Yeah, we're trying to commission control, right? We are trying to commission control, and that's the biggest issue.
It is.
Yeah.
If you're a loan officer, listen to this. Like, this is what we work on with our people every day, all the time, and we ain't perfect. But we know it. We know what we got to work on, and we have these conversations every day, all the time.
Now, Jim,
we've got a loan officer working for us, and she just sent me a text yesterday and said, I started doing the updates, doing them appropriately. I should have said this earlier. She said, I have 7 on the books right now for September. It's the biggest month I'll ever have. So she's climbing, right? But I think that sometimes we're waiting for the magic pill. And the truth is, it's the skills, right? It's that skill development, and it's constant through training and coaching and really an environment, and not to go, salesy. But when you think about next level coaching that you run, when you think about the overall culture within Summit of constantly trying to help people script, role play, get better, institute the updates, overcome their fears. It really is. I mean, you're a direct product of the pond that you swim in every single day, right? Like that's the truth. Are you swimming alone or with people?
No truer statement. Guys, I know we got to wrap up. Jim, you just opened up Next Level Coaching about 45 days ago to outside people, which has been something you have thought about carefully for a while. If someone is interested in that, how would they get on the list to find out about it?
Yep. So thanks for asking. So we do 2 events a year. The next one's this 3rd week of October. To find out more information, if you'd want to come to one of those to check it out. I don't really take people just straight into coaching. I find it doesn't work. They're not part of the thought. Their mindset is not right yet. They got to be around a bunch of people who are in it and have success and see if it fits, because it don't fit for everybody. Mm-hmm. But they reach out to me at my email, jreed@summitfunding.net, or they call me on my cell phone, 916-715-8102. Our coaching program is not humongous. It's not $10,000 a month. It is, our vision is to take people who can do 4 or 5 loans a month and get them to 10 and teach them how to save money so they can go home and be better family people. Like, that's what I want. That's what I want to be known for.
Yeah.
Whatever that word is. Like
legacy.
Like, it's life-changing to go to 10 loans a month and be able to save some money. And once you start doing that, I'm telling you, you'll start wanting to be a better family person, and you'll raise better kids. And that seems like a pretty good thing to me.
Yes, 100%. I love it. Thank you guys very much. Jim, Robyn, great insight.
Good job,
we'll
Robyn.
Talk to you all next month. Have a beautiful month.